Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to say Happy New Year and welcome to this special press briefing organized by our new CEO, who will be taking over as of now, running the day-to-day activities of the company, and also to inform you about our activities during the year 2022, what we have achieved, and our challenges in 2022, and then reveal our plans for 2023. So before we continue, let me firstly introduce the team here. Here is Mr. Elvis G. Morris. Mr. Morris is the Vice President for Strategy and Stakeholders Engagement for Veroleum Liberia. And at the far end is Mr. Freddie Suya Handojo. He's the outgoing Chief Executive Officer of Veroleum Liberia. He's been here over 3 to 4 years now running the activities of the company. And in the middle is Mr. Johannes Krishno Handojo, who is taking over from Mr. Freddie Handojo as our new CEO. Thank you. So the conference is going to be in threefold. Mr. Morris is going to start by giving an overview of GVL activities, what we went through in the year 2022, and the challenges in 2022, and then there's some other information that you also need to know about. And then that will be followed by the outgoing CEO. He will also explain the role as CEO, where he took GVL from, where he has taken GVL, a relationship with stakeholders, communities, and that of our employees. And then the new CEO will be the last person to speak on that. We will open up for questions. Thank you. Not to waste your time, I'll now turn the floor over to the Elvis, who's going to start the discussion.
Thank you very much, and thank you to all of you. Happy New Year, and thanks for coming. My name is Elvis G. Morris, the Vice President for Strategy and Stakeholders. I will give a general overview of GVL activities during 2022, so at least you have an insight of how we have been working last year. We all know that 2022 has been a very crucial year. We have almost to the end of COVID-19, and then with that and the war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, have led to high price increase internationally. So most of the companies such as GVL have serious economical impact on their cash flow issues. Knowing that we are an agriculture company, so we bring in international product to be able to run our agricultural farms. For example, if you take, for example, the fertilizer we imported, 2021, we imported the same quantity of fertilizer that we imported in 2021. In 2022, we imported the same quantity at a double price. So meaning we spent $5 million in 2021. In 2022, we spent $10 million to have the same quantity of fertilizer that we had. In doing all that, we know that in our import of materials to Liberia, price hiking went up to almost 68%. So that's about more than half of what we order. I mean, we order materials and trucks and issues like that and stuff like that. In the meantime, with all the high economical issue we had, GVL stayed invested in Liberia. We invested almost $10 million United States dollars in 2022. We are now in Greenville building 2 tanks of 2,500 metric tons of oil. Our mill, we also improved the ability of the mill being much more efficient. We also brought in new trucks. I think those who saw, we brought in roughly 20 to 40 trucks, brand new one. And we also brought in heavy equipment to help maintain the road, knowing that our infrastructure is very difficult to run on. That, you know, in a sense, once the infrastructure is not there, our logistical cost increases as well. To also help maintain the road, GVL signed a contract with the Liberian government through the Ministry of Public Works, where we have a joint partnership that we were able to have 3 contractors maintaining the corridor between Sino up to Plibo in Maryland. If we notice, I mean, I don't what this last year, with all the difficulties that we had before, the road were pliable in any way. At least people are going through the roads. We hope that continues because we move on that road, and it's being used not only by GVL, it's also used by other companies such as the logging and other institutions. And also, it's also good for the county because during the rainy season, things are very difficult to get down there. So we will say thanks to the Liberian government in that close collaboration in make sure we can maintain our road infrastructure. In the meantime, last year, GVL itself also doing the road. We have bridges that was being maintained, built, taken care of. We work with 2 different ports now in the southeast. We work with the Sino Greenville. Sino is Greenville Port, and then Maryland is the Harper Port. We all know that the Veroleum Port is a small one. I think the debt is 5 points plus debt, and we like to have the government helping to make sure that port is dredged, because that's where we're operating from. After we have built our mill in Maryland, it's a joint venture mill between GVL and MOPP Safeguard called Golding Safeguard. So we operate that port from that port now as well, and we hope to have improvement being done on it that will allow bigger ships to come in as well. Last year, we also helped that port, you know, when the port has a problem, especially during the hard times, when international ship comes in, they are complaining. So we had to help the port bring in fender. A fender is something like a pneumatic air that, you know, when the ship dock in, it can be able to hit the bank of the dock. So in there, we were able to help the port improve that part of it. So we hope that we can continue working with the port to have it much more as it is. But the most important one is the dredging of the port. GVL has also, in 2022, improved its educational system. So we're into the 3rd year now that GVL has put in place called the GVL educational system that helps to maintain, build schools within the area, excuse me, where we are. The schools in those areas help the community, not only the community, but also our workers, to be able to have a very good sense of education. Those schools are being developed by giving in chairs, books, helping up with teachers to make sure the students can be able to have a better education. Within a concession agreement, it is written that GVL could build or maintain existing schools. And we choose to maintain the existing schools because if not so, we will have GVL school and we will get overcrowded, and then those schools that are existing already will start breaking down. So what the best thing is to upgrade those schools that are existing now physically and then put in the materials needed for students and teachers to be able to feel free in giving up the courses as it is. We also help in the health system. In our health system, GVL has improved a lot. I hope we have a time to go in if you one day you see those things. One day I will take 2023 to be a time to visit and see some of the changes of what we just discussing or we just telling you. We have built, we're building clinics within the Tajuan area. Now we have one of the biggest clinics within the area. It's new, brand new. We supply medical, which is medicine, materials, and everything to those clinics. And the most important thing about it, the clinic is not only attending to the workers, it's also attending to the communities. So if you notice, we roughly per year, we treat almost up to 38,000 patients. That comes from the community in as much our workers. So in our health system, we do make sure that if there's an issue that GVL clinic cannot work with, then we call referral. Then you are sent to the clinic, the hospital in the capital of those two counties where we operate. In the meantime, too, as well, GVL, we have this scholarship program that's been going on for the past 10 years. We're almost 11 years here. We give scholarship to students in agriculture, nursing, and then other related courses that is interested for GVL to work with. And in that area, we also have the possibility of having community members using that scholarship to be able to have them educated. Some of our workers we have today, those are students that were on the scholarship before graduated. Some of them are working with GVL today, and it's very useful to see that we not only training on the field with the scholarship issue, then we bring in other local schools, and then we have our training process in place in our work area. You find out now we have workshops, garages, and stuff. All these are areas that Liberians are being trained to be able to move the company forward. Hopefully, we are looking at the company being correctly set up, that Liberians can be fully in charge in years to come. We know that oil palm system being built here today is, with the kind of industry we have, is one of the first time. As we work and we are very close to our community, we also brought in what we call a livelihood program. And this livelihood program helps the community in twofold. One, to feed themselves. Two, to economically, when it's a lot of the products is done, you can sell it on the market, and you are able to sustain your family not only with the job that GVL provides. So the livelihood program started 2022. And the best thing we ever did with that program is that we're working with the CSOs. It's not GVL running the program 100%. GVL is giving the funding to support the program, but it's being ran by the CSO, so we can have a better results from the CSO as we expect it to be from others. In the meantime, 2022 was also a very good year because we were able to get the community very close to GVL. We had several meetings and workshops with the community, which the community is set up in the sense that they elect their own members, and they come from the elders, the youth, market women, government officials, so they all get together and elect a team which we call the CRC, Community Representative Committee, which is being chaired to make sure that the community can work in close relationship with the company. That helps the company to centralize most of the issues that the community have. Then, one person coming up to bring issues and we need to solve that. That helps to also mitigate most of the problems that community and the company will have. And we'd like to say thank you to NBC, because NBC has been a very good partner in having the creation of these CRCs, and in the meantime, be able to support the company and the communities to have a very good working relationship. And in this light too, we all like to send our thanks and appreciation to the community. It has been very much, I think if we all notice, last year GVL were less in the newspaper than other years. We were in the paper nearly every day. GVL did this, GVL did that. So 2022 has been a very good year in the sense that our working relationship with the community improved immensely. Our working relationship with our workers in the community, move forward on a very good level. So making us to be able to mitigate any issues and to just bring it out into the public. So we've been able to support most of the issues we have with our workers, with the community, and then we sit on the table and dialogue and be able to have results. One of the important things that we don't look at most of the time and we just talk about it is employment. GVL itself has roughly 3,000 plus employees in the two counties where we are. That economically is a plus to the southeast, where we inject into the economy roughly 1.9 million every month, including everything you can call around it, from employee to that of contractors. If you notice, we contract trucks with transportation, we contract building construction people. So, every month, that's what is being injected into the two counties. That gave the possibility today, if you get into those areas, most of the towns have been more or less, you find DSTV. When I say that, people smile most of the time, but everybody is watching football game now. If you fly over the forest in the night and you see the light, sometimes here, I don't think we have light, but there the light is shining. So we managed to make sure that our workers and the community in collaboration can manage to have the best out of the company being present. Everything is not 100% okay. We all know human, your tongue in your mouth and your teeth, they are best friends. But some days you eat it, you make mistake and burn it. The other state is still friends. So that what brings the mitigation and the dialogue between the company, the community, and the workers. And we hope we can be able to continue in that direction. We have housing units. So those who have been down there, I think you have seen it. We continue to improve on the housing unit. There are areas that constructions are going on already. So our workers is being housed. And then not only that, they have electricity and water sanitation within those areas we are. And I mean all the estates. It's not some estates have and other estates do not have. So in the housing unit conditions we talk about, we hope that we can continue in the direction. Even though now housing has been built, we start to have some problems of some reputable people saying that they want the people to go back to their town and go and live there. And now you tell me you're living in a house with water and light, and then you want to go back to a place here. So what we try to do to our workers is to give them the courage to build in the community they're coming from. Since you are working, you're not paying rent, it's good to build in the communities you're coming from. In that direction, the community also grow instead of only small, big communities. In general, just to go short, all that happened in 2022, we still have some serious challenges. With all the serious challenges we have, that's why from my opening I made it clear, with the increase of pricing in the international community, with the increase of price, even in Liberia, you have fuel price went up, rice price went up, and we give rice to our workers every month of 50 kg bag of rice. That's something that need to be given to the workers to give them motivation. It's not being on the salary, they're not paying for it. It's an incentive given to the workers to appreciate their hard work as well. So when the price goes up, it's also affecting the company economics. So in that direction, with those challenges we have, we still try to maintain our way of working, our way of being here, and to sustain the company as it is. So we would like to see more coming from the port area. For example, as I said, the Veroleum port is a challenge. We have to bring in small ships. We are doing what we call double logistics. We need to bring a big ship into the Sino County area and then take the oil from the Veroleum Harbor port to Sino. That's an extra cost that was not calculated. So if that port the Veroleum port is dredged, it's not only for GVL, but it's also for that area, because you have the Cote d'Ivoire not too far, and most of the time when that port is congested, that port will also be used. So it's economically a viable port, and we hope that we can work closely with the National Port Authority to have that port put into place. Another challenge we have is the roads. We all who have traveled from here to the southeast, during the dry season is okay. You can get through. During the rainy season, with the maintenance even being carried out during the dry season to maintain it, but it's still a challenge in getting there. So it's not only again for GVL, it's also for the county, it's also for the southeast. That road network, we would like to see it hopefully in the future paved. And that will help a lot on the logistical part for GVL and other companies that are in the area to that of the county and the communities around. One of the other challenges we faced is that sometimes we need some of our community to understand that in as much we are mitigating, we asking, don't let the devil come in town, because sometimes the devil comes in town and block the road. And when the devil block the road, and then, that's another issue, and then we need to have, discuss and all online the devil. So you need to have a discussion in there. Another more important issue is palm theft. You see, we do the palm and we refine it and to sell it, and get money to pay for our salary, pay salary, pay for maintenance and other material costs, and even pay contractors. But the palm theft is getting higher, because if the palm is stolen, and then we start to decrease in our productivity to that of our mill. So the palm theft, again, that we hope that the Ministry of Justice through the National Police can be able to help us maintain or lower palm theft. I can say stop it 100%, then I think I will be dreaming, but at least to have it lower in the sense that we can be able to have a proper production on the line of our palm. And within the palm theft is also the Ministry of Justice play a major role, because sometimes when people are arrested, we are far, we are way in the southeast, and then taken to court, and after a certain time you see the same person back in the palm and trying to take it again. So we hope that can be able to be maintained and managed. In the meantime, I would like to say thank you for coming, and I'm sure there will be some questions and answers, and then we'll be able to go highlights to what you want or answers to what you want. In the meantime, I will pass the time over to Mr. Kofi. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you again. As you said, Mr. Morris already gave the overview, so what we're going to do now is for us to pass it over to Mr. Freddie Ndojo, who is the Armory CEO. He's also going to comment on some of the things he did with GVL as CEO, the level he has taken GVL to, and the relationship with stakeholders. So Freddie, it's up to you.
Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been a pleasure for me being in Liberia for the past 4 years. I came into Liberia in April 2019. During that time, I was spending almost about 3 months to assess, our GVL operation, to understand, the obstacle or the challenges that the company has been facing. So, as a planter, to me, or most of the CEO, certainly, look at or focus on the infrastructure. Because the infrastructure, as our colleague Elvis earlier mentioned, really played a key role in our industry. We produce the palm fruit. That palm fruit, the day we harvest the fruit, within 24 hours, those fruit have to be transported, the mill to be processed. And once we produce the oil, we need also the good infrastructure to transport the oil from the mill to the port, and then we export it out, to the international market. So I remember in 2019, my first rainy season in Liberia, for me to travel from East Sino, the furthest estate called Tatwe, towards the West Sino, the further estate called Tartuan, I spent almost 8 hours. 8 hours in the first rainy season when I was here in 2019. And then in 2020, with the collaboration that we have with the Ministry of Public Works, and also, we invested some road equipment as approved by our corporate, management. We were able to improve the logistic, the road infrastructure, not only in Sino but also in Grain Crew. So if today everyone comes to Sino from Tatwe, the furthest estate in East Sino, towards the West Sino, Tarjuan Estate, we can only spend maybe like maximum 3 hours compared to 8 hours during the rainy season. So we continue improving the road infrastructure, and we thank the Ministry of Public Works, with the harmonious collaboration, and also the support from the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance and Justice to allow us to promote this continuous improvement on the road infrastructure. And we continue looking forward to having this road infrastructure to be improved, because again, that road infrastructure and the port infrastructure play the key role in our industry. And apart from there, while me being in Liberia for the past 4 years, we've been focusing on communication. By having the good communication, cordial working relationship, certainly we can mitigate a lot of potential risks. Any question, anything that any institution or anybody are not sure, then we open for dialogue. That's what I see, like the GVL's operation in Liberia while I'm here has been improving, because again, in order for us to promote continuous improvement on our GVL operation, communication and collaboration have to be there. And we look forward, the company look forward to aiming for those key area, the communication and collaboration that really involve a lot of parties, whether in Liberia or internationally. So with that respect, everyone, due to the family matter, I have to return to my home country in Asia. So last year, the corporate management have been looking for the candidates. So they finally, found someone, and my colleague next to me, Mr. Johannes, they came on board, arrived Liberia in the 2nd day of January 2023. Upon his arrival, the next day we traveled directly to Sino and Grain Crew, for me to show him like the beautiful of Liberia, the good road infrastructure, especially during this dry season. Yes, we still see the challenges, especially the road infrastructure in other areas to connect the capital city of Monrovia towards the Sino and Grain Crew and Maryland, because most of our goods come through the Monrovia as a capital, and then we use either trucks or the vessel to transfer them to our plantation, our operation in Sino, Grain Crew, and another small operation in Maryland. And now, we've been having 2 mills operating in Sino and another joint venture mill in Maryland. So with that, we certainly improve our fruit transport, because we have 2 mills running for both, to serve 2 plantations in both Sino and Grain Crew. And again, we look forward, to having the improvement on the road infrastructure and the port infrastructure. Those are the 2 areas that we have been always focusing on. So I thank everyone, all the parties, particularly the government of Liberia, that have been supporting our GVL operation in Liberia. And I apologize for anything that I do or don't, do, unintentionally. Again, I'm a human being. I make mistakes, but again, I'm committed, through the company that GVL would like to stay in Liberia, as we are employing over 3,000 Liberians. So with all the support from all the institutions, certainly GVL as a company will sustain in Liberia. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the new CEO of GVL, Mr. Johannes Trisno Handojo. We both have the same last name, but we are not blood brother. I think God, sent us, to Liberia, to continue promoting, improvement in Liberia. So I welcome Pak Johannes Trisno Handojo to our GVL family, and I'm sure the colleagues in GVL are looking forward to working with Pak Johannes Trisno Handojo, and together along with all the institutions in Liberia. So Pak Johannes.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Johannes Trisno Handojo. So I joined this company since mid of September 2022. I heard that this company is searching more than months to find persons that who can replace this position. So I am honored to be here today as new CEO of Golden Veroleum Liberia, and I also want to take a moment to thank to the government of Liberia and also the people of Liberia that welcoming me and contributing me to this company. Also thanks to the board of directors and to my team and everyone at Golden Veroleum Liberia for giving me the opportunity. I worked about more than 30 years in agribusiness, including 20 years in oil palm plantation and about 12 years in livestock industry. So I was landed 2nd January 2023 and directly went around to the Saino, Tarjuan, and then Butao, and continued to the Grand Cru in Maryland. And after that, I was in Monrovia since last week. I'm excited to join this company with such a strong foundation and talented team. My goal as a new CEO to continue build on this foundation and take a Golden Veroleum Liberia to a new height. So my vision for Golden Veroleum Liberia is to increase the fresh fruit brands productivity, improve effectiveness and efficiency by preventive maintenance of our machineries, widen cooperation with community such as livelihood program, and use the information technology intensively for faster and better data management, transfer of knowledge by direct interactive training on the field, classroom, or other suitable training model. I understand that change can be difficult, but I am confident that by working together, we can achieve great things. I am committed to an open and transparent communication, and I am looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you. I think that's from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We will now open the floor for questions if you have.
Yeah.
Yes, Jack.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I'm Davis from the Liberia Broadcasting System. My question might not be directed to you because you're just coming in, but I just want to know, Mr. Morris, recently the government issued this executive order 115, waiving tariff on agricultural products and machineries. I just want to know whether GVL in any way, benefit from such, and how does that benefit you if you benefited. And the second one, you have thousands of hectares that you plan to develop, and you then having some challenges in planting on those hectares. So I'm just finding out whether you have increased your plantation, and yeah, just to talk about those two.
Your first question, 105 executive order.
Yeah.
GVL has a concession agreement, and in the concession agreement, all these things have been more or less negotiated. So we already have extra tax tax exemption. So we think that we are well placed in there. So according to our concession agreement, we stay within the concession agreement area, not the executive order. Your number two question is that whether we have increased. Now, we have not. We are at 19,000 hectares of planted palm. Normally, we've been here 11 years now. If you go according to our operational planning, we should be at 60,000 hectares plus land planted. And the reason why I think we all know some of these issues of expansion has not happened is that we have forest. Liberia is a forest country, and GVL respects international rules and regulations. And then we also have community engagement. So to do anything we need to for expansion, we need to put in place what we call the FPIC that gives us that possibility to do that. Our first time in Liberia, there was some issues, so we're trying to make sure we don't make the same kind of mistakes that happen. Issues has been solved up to today's date, and we hope that we can improve it more. And then land, it's very easy to say, people will say, but we're willing to give you land. Okay, yeah, the land is there, but we got to understand that we are very high conservation forest in Liberia. So giving GVL the land, yes, and then when we look at it, it's a forest area. It's very difficult to be able to start cultivation. And GVL respects that very well. So if you notice that we make sure now that these different kind of issues that we have with land, we just hope that the most important one, that the LLA, which is the land authority, can be able to have a demarcation set up today, because we also still have some problems with demarcation issues on the field, which we're trying to solve now. So with these issues differently, we stay at 19,000 hectares. And GVL, most importantly now, would like to sustain that 19,000 hectares. If I just take into consideration with the kind of high economical cost that we are faced with, I think the new CEO will join me in there, is to sustain the first 19 we got, and then we see how we go forward from there.
In addition to what Alvis mentioned, I'd like to highlight, about the challenges that we also have internally. What I can highlight is, the road infrastructure in our plantation. This year, we are going to improve our internal road. We call it like our internal road within our plantation, as well as the drainage system. Because we have some area, they are low-lying. So during the rainy season, and again, Liberia has so much beautiful rainfall. The soils are fertile, but when it comes to the lowland, when the rain comes, the water stands there, and our palm, especially the small one, could not survive if there are so many so many standing water, for the past 2-3 months, the water are not channeled out to the drains. So we are focusing on the lowland area to make sure, the lowland have a good drainage system, like the water is channel out. So no matter any weather, condition, especially during the rainy season, the palm tree will be free from the flooding, because we don't want the flooding in our plantation. When the floods, comes and it goes to the road, certainly our road will be damaged. So this year we are focusing on the road infrastructure as well inside our plantation, as well as the drainage system inside our plantation. So with that, once we can improve these and we can, optimize our operational costs, certainly the company will be, considering or, focusing on the expansion later on, other than, the other matter that, Elvis earlier mentioned. Thank you.
Yeah, just one for me. Thank you so much, the Morris and the CEO. I'm just concerned, 11 years in Liberia, 3,000 employment at the moment. I'm concerned about, specifically to the new CEO, but I'm thinking about extending the gap in terms of employment. You have 3,000 people like for 11 years. Are you considering a new vision? And while you visit both productivity, are you looking at the issue of increment in employment for our people?
For the time being, maybe we improve what we it's not done yet, but we're trying to fix all the gap that we're facing now. So hopefully that all the team can work together to make it the gap narrower, and compliant with the regulations and with the certification.
Any other
Now,
questions?
your question, your question, if I got you clear, are we looking at having more employees? All right. I mean, 2023. If you listen to what we said, we will try to sustain what we have already. With the different challenges we have, you need to sustain first. So if you can sustain, business is profit. Right now, there's no profit at all, not at all. And if you go into the technical part of it, then you will be looking at maybe decreasing employees, which GVL is not looking at, right? So we're really working to the sustainability of that, what we have had, knowing that we are late in everything and some of the stuff we need to do. Hopefully with this, if we do sustain correctly as the outgoing incoming CEO have said, then you start to look at your expansion plan. And with your expansion plan, that's where you talk about having employees. Because normally it's 6 hectares to 1%. So if you calculate that, then as you expand, then you get more employees coming in. So right now is how do we, that's the strategy being used to sustain what we have, improve our employees, training, oil palm just started in a sense here. We got mill today, we sent in 11 engineers to Jakarta. They were here when we were building the mill in Sino, in Taiwan. That training, they are trainers of trainers. So our being in today is to train our employees to be really palm oil productive people. And once in that direction, then you start thinking about expansion.
Yeah. Any other question? Any other question? If no other question, then we'd like to say thank you for coming, and we hope that we will interact another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you, Liberia.
At 13,